All right. Hi, guys. Welcome
Welcome.
back. This is Porgs, Porkies, and Princesses. I'm Emma,
And I'm Kendall.
and today is a very special no-cut episode.
Woo! It's our 1 year since moving into Disney.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's really sad.
It is. It's really sad, but it's also like, what? That was like last week, wasn't it?
I know. It feels like it's been like a month, but
Yeah.
nope. And we were only there for 6 weeks, which means like it's like truly been a year.
Yeah.
Weird.
Ooh.
But anyway, we're doing a celebratory, like, memory lane episode of Porgs, Porkies, and Princesses. We're not cutting this. This is going to be completely unfiltered. We don't want to edit today, but we want to get it up today. So,
Yes. Okay.
bear with us.
All right. Are you ready for our prompt questions, Emma?
I am ready.
All right. So our first talking point is our first magical moment.
Okay. I know that I had one. I already forgot it.
I just went through the same thing, but I remember mine again. My first magical moment was the day after moving in. My parents and my roommate and I went to Hollywood Studios, and I got to go into Galaxy's Edge for the first time. And I got to see my home location, and it was super crazy and magical to, like, my first time in that part of the park was when I knew that I was about to be a cast member there. So that was really magical for me.
Yeah. So for me, the day before we moved in, so on February 2nd of last year, I had never been to Disney World before, ever in my life. And so I went and did 4 parks in one day with my mom and my best friend. And we rounded out the day by watching Happily Ever After, which I knew by heart but had never seen. And so that was like a really magical moment. It like really hit me that night that I was like there and that's what was happening.
I love that. Okay. So next we're going to be talking about our first magical moment as a cast member.
Right.
Yes.
I forgot what I meant by this question.
So this is like after traditions, we're official now. We have our park admission pass. We have our like blue ID and everything. We're like legit cast members at this point.
Okay. So I think for me, it was definitely just like, okay, so I had a late traditions. I don't know when yours was, but mine was like 3:15. We got out at almost 8. Happily Ever After was like at 8. And so it was just like getting out of traditions, getting my pass, and like running for my life to Magic Kingdom to get to like stand in the back and watch Happily Ever After with my friends, like for the first time as cast members. It was so magical. And then I went into the Emporium and someone thought I worked there, and I was like, sorry. I work here, just not here.
Yeah. So I think mine is very similar. Mine is watching Happily Ever After in the parks right after traditions. Mine specifically, it really hit me whenever How Far I'll Go came on, because I was like, wow, like how far did I go?
Right. It's always Hercules for me. It's like always
Yeah.
go the distance for me.
Yeah, that one does that come after or before Good?
It's at the
How Far I'll
very
Go?
end when like the stained glass characters show up.
Yeah, I cried during How Far I'll Go, and then I cried during that as well during I Can Go the Distance, and then I also cried whenever he was like, "Go out and make your dreams a reality," and I was like, "I did." So that was where I cried that night.
Oh my gosh. I love the beginning spiel too. Like I forget what the spiel at the beginning is, but I know that it really hit at the beginning of my program, and then the end spiel really hit at the end of my program.
Yeah.
Like the so our journey comes to an end, but you.
Oh no. Yeah. Yep.
I'm
That'll
having a hard
do.
time keeping this together.
I know, me too. I was like, that's when I cried, and then my eyes were like, crying? All right, let's do it. I have a
Time to
tally of
go.
how many times I cried today.
I have not cried yet, but I am so ready.
I've cried 5 times today. Whew.
I mean, I already told Kendall, but like the first thing I did today was therapy. And that's like when my therapist was like, yeah, just like take the day off, be sad. And I was like starting to cry when she said that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
literally one of the times I started I you texted me that and I was listening to I don't remember what song I was listening to, but I was already listening to like Disney music and I specifically have a playlist for like my roommates and I was listening to a song on it and I saw that text message pop up on my phone and it was like she gave me permission to no, it was that you said you should take the day off and grieve and I went I started bawling again. I think that was time 3 that I cried today.
I know I had to keep it together while we were talking because I was like, we had other stuff to deal with. So I was like, I can't make this my issue today.
That is the same way that I handle therapy. I'm like, you can't cry because it'll just waste your time that you have today.
Right. It's like there's
Yeah,
other stuff I have to work on right now.
yeah. I'm like, not crying. We're in a good. Moving on. um, all right. So our next talking point is our favorite thing that we did before getting our park admission pass.
So for me, it was oh, it's kind of tied. Sorry, didn't mean to make a tie, but it was definitely either so like a few nights in, these people I met in a group chat from the Facebook groups was like, let's go get dinner together. So we went and got dinner, and then we went down to the TTC and we watched the fireworks from there, and it was really fun. But it's also tied with we went resort hopping before the welcome party, and that was just so much fun, like screaming in a Skyliner and just being with my roommates was really fun. What about you?
Mine, ooh.
Ooh.
Mine was going to the Polynesian. One of my roommates was custodial there, and one of our first nights together, we all went and got drinks at the Polynesian because we were all of us except for one were over 21, and she got Dole Whip. Um, and so we all went and got drinks, and we sat out there for a really long time. Like they closed the bar, and we were still there for like an hour or two after. And we got like food out of their like snack bar thing, and oh my gosh, it was so much fun. We talked for such a long time, and we got so many of our quotes that night. We had a wall of roommate quotes, and we got like at least 3 of them out of that night. It was so much fun.
Oh my gosh, wait, did you go down to the little like Dole Whip stand down outside, or did you just go to like yeah, okay. I think we might have been there the same night. Because
Really?
that's what we did. We went to dinner, we went to the fireworks at TTC, and then we took the monorail to the Poly and we got Dole Whip and like sat outside. And I
Okay,
remember
we
there was
got
like
there.
another group of people.
We straight up got there right as they were closing the stand.
Maybe not. I just feel like there was like another like group of girls there that we were like just kind of like not really with, but like they were there.
Yeah, that
That
could
video.
have been us. I think we were okay. So I think I got a mojito, and then after I finished my mojito, I went and got in line for Dole Whip with my friend. So we might have been there like 30 minutes, maybe an hour prior to them closing, but we were like there at closing.
Yeah, that was us because we went after fireworks, and so like we were there pretty late. But
Okay,
yeah,
that's
anyway,
really wild.
coincidences.
Yeah. um, okay, so next thing is something you crossed off of your DCP bucket list.
So for me, it was seeing happily ever after. Like I said, I knew all the words. Me and my friends would go drive like up and down a mountain down here, and like just scream happily ever after, paint the night, Pixar play, and I was like so excited to finally get to see happily ever after in person. I can no longer go driving and listen to it. that's a problem now. But it was definitely really fun.
Yeah, mine was going and getting Dole Whip for the first time. So- And I love it. I always was like, pineapple ice cream? Ew, gross. But Dole Whip is
Really?
not pineapple ice cream. It is otherworldly.
Yeah, I remember. So my first time getting Dole Whip. Sorry, not to go off on a tangent, but I was on a school trip, and my friend, my theater teacher said something like kind of mean about one of my friends, and so to make it up to her, because he didn't mean it, but it like ended up just kind of being mildly offensive. And
Mhm.
so to make it up for her, to her, he bought her Dole Whip, and so I ended up at the stand, and they were like, "You got to at least just try it. Come on." So I did. It was really good.
Gosh. I love Dole Whip. I tried so many different flavors of Dole Whip while I was there too. It became an obsession.
I love Dole Whip. I've only ever had the pineapple one, but love it.
Oh my gosh, they had so I got a lot of Dole Whip floats while I was there, and this is kind of another tangent, but oh my gosh, people are gonna see how many tangents we go on
Oh my gosh,
now.
I know. Okay, so side note really fast, I have ADHD, and so this happens a lot where I just kind of go off the rails.
Yeah, my so this is actually really funny because we've talked about this, and I have not been diagnosed with ADHD, but I feel like I go on so many tangents too, and I'm like, what? I talked to my therapist about it. She's like, I don't think you have ADHD. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just naturally don't have an attention span.
I mean, you
Cool.
could always you could always go get assessed anyway. See what they have to
I
say.
could. Yeah. Anyway, that's another
I'll send you a
tangent.
thing. I'll send you a thing.
Gotcha,
We won't
gotcha.
talk anymore, but I'll send you a thing.
So my tangent I was going on about Dole Whip
Hmm.
floats. I tried the original Dole Whip, and then I went and got a Peter Pan float, which had the lime Dole Whip with Sprite. So good. And then the I Lava You one. The I Lava You one is probably my favorite.
I want to
It was
try
like
both of
guava.
those.
They're so good. It was like I think it was guava and orange soda, and then they had pop rocks on them.
Yummy.
It was so good. Anyway,
I think I tried the
forget.
Cinderella one. I think I tried the Cinderella one, but it was just like vanilla soft serve that was blue. So,
Oh.
but they had
Hmm.
like it was at the Polynesian that night, and so someone got it and I tried it. But
Oh my gosh, I do remember that. And they had like little pearls in it, and it had like
mhm,
a chocolate clock or
yeah,
chocolate shoe.
it's a
Yeah.
chocolate clock.
Oh my gosh, that is so weird.
So cute. Oh my gosh, wait, I
Um,
have another question, another thing to add to the list. So can I just ask it now?
yes.
Okay, what's your favorite Epcot festival? I only went to two, but like still, do you have a favorite?
I only got to go to the art festival,
Okay.
but the Flower and Garden Festival looks really nice. But it's like one of my dreams to go to the Food and Wine Festival. Food and Wine.
Same. They do it
Yeah.
in California too. They do Food and Wine and California Adventure, and I've always like been there during Food and Wine, but obviously could never like enjoy it because I was broke and also I'm not 21.
Yeah.
For 21 more days though.
Right.
Uh,
So crazy.
um, but yeah, so I really want to do Food and Wine, but Festival of the Arts has my heart. Like I went to Flower and Garden a few times, but Festival of the Arts, the Broadway show.
I think that's the selling point. I think that's
Yeah.
probably going to be my favorite just because it hits so close to home um,
Who
as
did
an
you see? Did you
artist.
get to go to them? Any of the
Um,
shows?
yes, so I went and I saw two different sets,
Same.
and I can only remember that the genie was at one of them.
Yeah, it was the Genie and Cindy Winters, I think. Michael James Scott was his name, and then Cindy Winters. And then I also saw the set where it was like two sets of people. So it was like Carol Lindsay and Adam Jacobs were there, and then two other people who I didn't know.
Okay. I
But I
do
saw
not
both of those.
remember. I don't remember who was at my second set.
It was
I know that
after the
they,
Genie.
yeah, I think they sang
Okay.
from Evita,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember who they were though.
Yeah, I just know the first set because it was like the end of their like month of performing, I guess. And so they like that set of people wasn't coming back. But they did like Bop to the Top, and Carol Lindsay sang like her new like whatever song she sings in Newsies. I forgot what it's called.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
It was so fun.
That's
But
nuts.
yeah,
That's
so
so
good.
cool.
Anyway, on to the next question.
Okay, I actually also just thought of another question,
Okay.
kind of going back to the DCP bucket list. Do you have anything that after doing the program you want to add to your bucket list of things to do?
Yes. Okay. Well, obviously, Drink Around the World's on there because like I just couldn't do that on
Yes.
my program. I did. If you go to my Instagram, I have a highlight and it's called Water. But I did drinking water around the world,
Oh
which
my
was really
gosh,
fun.
I remember that. That was really funny. I don't know if I saw that like as you did it. I think I did though.
Probably. But
I
yeah,
thought
so
it
we
was so
just drank bottles of water in every country and took pictures. But um, it was really fun. But I think drinking around the world, or I want to go to like I'd love to spend more time in the parks just like doing things because like obviously I only went for like a few hours at a time and I'd like ride a ride, maybe get some food. Like I'd like to just like actually spend time going around the world and seeing what there is to do in there, or like I want to spend more time in Hollywood studios.
Yeah. Yep.
And I want to see more of the
Um,
shows. Like I didn't do that because my like growing up, like I went to Disneyland and it's very much a culture of like you go, you ride rides, sometimes you eat, and then you go home. Like it's a very quick trip intentionally. So I never like made it a habit of like seeing shows or going to meet characters. So I want to do more of that.
yeah. I have two things I want to add to mine. One, I did not go to the Grand Floridian while I was there, and I really want to go to Basin and wash my hands at the Grand Floridian.
I did that. It was really fun.
Yes, I've seen so many people do it, and I just want to do it so bad. So that definitely is added. And then I also really want to meet Tarzan so bad.
I have a picture with Kevin, who's my favorite character, if you guys haven't heard that before. But it's with my ex. So
Oh, so you want to meet Kevin and get a picture for the first time
right,
as
right,
well.
right. Well, and also my phone got
Yeah.
wiped in the middle of the summer, so I don't even have the picture. But and I'm not about
That
to text anyone
stinks.
and be like, "Hey, can I have the picture?"
That's a hoot and a holler.
Yeah.
Okay. So, next question is favorite show, firework, and stage. So,
I mean, I gotta go happily ever after. And
yeah,
then I love Nemo. Like I could listen to Nemo all day.
I love that. Mine is happily ever after and the Frozen sing along because I was just, yeah, you don't want to be in a room with me during Frozen sing along. Let's just say that. It's wild.
I love the sing along. Okay, wait, side note, do you have a favorite firework? That's not like a weird question because everyone in the parking lot that I talked to had a favorite firework.
I think so in Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
Like, okay, specifically, I really like when the up balloons are going up and then like fireworks go off whenever it like reaches past the castle. So it looks like the balloons are carrying up. I love it.
I have two. So I love in Moana when her grandma like swims up and then there's like these two like wave fireworks that happen at the top. Love that moment. And then
Yes.
the Mulan firework. It's the biggest firework, I'm pretty sure. And it's just a big circle and I love it. I always loved watching it from work. I'd like look out
Yes.
for the Mulan one. It'd be like right my favorite part.
Yes. I don't know if this counts as a firework, but Tinkerbell shooting across. Don't they like set off a firework when it's like we all have the courage to fly, and it's like,
It
and it
might I
just
always just watch Tinkerbell.
same. I don't know. There's one specific part where I can think of it syncing, like the fireworks syncing with the music, and it's really aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
But I can't think of what part of the show it's in.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Epcot Forever?
I did.
Okay, how tripped out were you when you saw like the jet skis with the kites go around and then they come back and all of a sudden there's like fireworks coming off the back of the kites, because I had like a meltdown for a minute.
I was like, how do they not set the kite on fire? That's
I
Disney
have a
magic.
Snapchat. I have a Snapchat where it's like those kites, and it just, we all, like, I quoted, and all of us were like, wait, fireworks off a kite?
They're so cool. Disney,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the coolest. Anyway.
Anyway,
Awesome.
what's
Okay.
next?
Next question is a fun work story.
I was gonna tell the pin one, right? That was the one.
I think so.
Okay.
Right?
I'm trying to think of what I said for each of these points.
Me too.
So while I was at work, I spent 2 weeks being a greeter because we didn't have enough trainers, I don't think. And so before training, I would just greet. And so greeting either was just like saying hi. Sometimes I'd have a Mickey hand. Sometimes, oh my gosh, my hand like instinctively does the. Sometimes I'd have a Mickey hand, and then sometimes I'd have a parking cone with pins in it. And so on this day, I had the pin cone, which I hated because it was like overwhelming. Because you get like a bunch of people like coming up to you, and sometimes you needed to do other stuff, and you had a bunch of people there. But anyway, so I had the pin cone, and this guy comes up to me, and it was like the beginning of February, and they had just, well, obviously, maybe it's the beginning of March. Um, but they just released the Minnie the Main Attraction set for the month, and so it was Pirates of the Caribbean themed. And this guy comes up to me, he's like, are you ready for me to do something crazy? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, he pulls out one of the pin sets, which is like limited edition, super rare, like you got to get it when it's out or you don't get it apparently. He pulls it out, he's like, I'm gonna trade these to you. And so he gives me the pin set and takes just like the generic, like the little like zoom zoom looking ones that everyone and their sister has. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Um, so he gives me like, he takes like the weenie pins and gives me the set, and he gives me one, and he's like, hold on to this for like someone who truly deserves it. And so I pocket it, and then later in that day, a little kid came out. He was like 5, and he had like one of those thick lanyards with like a bunch of pins on it. I was like, hey, I have a special pin if you're interested. And he took it. But that was really fun. And it was like a chance for me to make magic when I like didn't really get to in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that story.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah, that kid, that kid was living his best life. So.
He seemed so uninterested, but his mom was like, dude, that's a good pin.
um, so my fun work story is one day at work, I was working in Doc Onder's Den of Antiquities. I was specifically working as a curator, so I was dealing with the holocrons and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was showing this family. It was a dad and his 2 kids. I'm showing them the holocrons. And I showed them for a while, and then they left. And after they left, I got a new assignment. And my new assignment was in the resistance carts, and I was there, and then the family came over. I think the dad was like, do you have a twin that works here too? And I was like, no, I got moved over to resistance. I have lots of tasks around Batu. And that was really funny. And then they went on their way. I think they might have been getting on Rise of the Resistance at that point. And then some time went by, and I got moved again. And I was in the market, and the dad and his kids come up, and they're like, what? You again? And they were like, I guess you're just our cast member for this trip. And then they kept coming back to me throughout the day, and they would like ask me questions about how I felt about the Galaxy's Edge story and all of this. They would ask me so many random questions, and they were questions about me and not like about the park. And I just thought that was so sweet that they cared. And so that's my fun story. Oh, that family was so cute. They were so excited that they saw me so many times. Anyway.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Okay. So next question is favorite park food and or drink.
Mm, okay, easy answer. Empanadas.
Ooh.
Cheese empanadas. It's a kid's meal. It's like $6 in the Mexico Pavilion. I ate those a lot. They come with nachos too, and like a drink. It's great.
Oh my gosh. That sounds so good. I haven't tried that.
It's literally someone introduced me to it in my apartment, and I like every time I went to Epcot had to get them. Like I went to Epcot, Kendall, for my birthday last year with my parents, who took me to like the nice restaurant in Japan, and then I made my roommate and my sister leave to go buy me empanadas because I still wanted them.
Fair.
So like I finished my
I
meal in Japan, and then I left, and I was served empanadas immediately.
oh, I love that. Um, do you have a favorite drink?
So I didn't have a lot of drinks, obviously, because I wasn't drinking alcohol. I tried like the Arendelle like blue lemonade at some point, and that was pretty good. Um, I do have a hack though. If you have a discount, buy your stuff inside of a store instead of out of the cart because you'll get your discount in there.
Oh, smart.
So like every time I got like a soda or whatever, like a Sprite or like a water bottle, I'd go into like a merch store instead of to a cart because I got my
Oh,
cast discount in there.
that makes so much sense.
Love it. Love hacking the system.
Um, so this question's actually really hard for me because I have so many that are tied. Um, my favorite food is either the nachos from, oh, I can't remember. It's like right outside of Pirates of the Caribbean. There's
Mm,
like a restaurant and they have nachos in there. And they're
okay.
just really good and you can like add your own stuff on top. Or the
Is it like
nachos from the
Keiko's
Mexican.
Phil's?
It might be.
Okay, that's the only one I could think of.
But also the nachos from the Mexico Pavilion. They're two very different kinds of nachos, but they
Yeah.
both really hit the spot. Or the mac and cheese from why am I running out of all of the restaurant
Is
names?
it Flame Tree?
No, it's the something harbor.
Columbia Harbor House?
Columbia Harbor House. Why do I always forget this? The mac and cheese from there. Ooh, and the fried rice from Animal Kingdom. Anyway, um,
I do love Satuli too because they have really good tofu. I'm vegetarian, so they have really good tofu bowls. Love.
ooh, I love me some Disney food and
I
drinks.
miss Disney food and drinks.
I know. I think my favorite drinks were the Night Blossom from uh, Pandora, the margarita from Epcot, just like a regular margarita from the Mexico Pavilion. It's just
Yeah.
delicious. Um, and I like green milk. I know everyone likes blue milk better, but I love green milk. So good.
I didn't ever try it because didn't ever really go to Star Wars, but I'm excited. Did you get the alcoholic one or did you get like just regular?
I got just regular because the sound of ordering something that has the word milk in it, but making it alcoholic just really terrifies me to the core for some
Right.
reason.
Makes
So
sense.
no.
I mean, aren't those things like entirely vegan though?
I believe so. They're more like
Yeah.
smoothies.
Yeah, and they're like coconut milk, right?
Yeah, I think so. One is, oh no, it's been a while and I do not have any of my knowledge I had when I was working there because I knew when I worked there.
Yeah. No, it's okay. That's just the reason I never tried it was because like I'm not a huge coconut milk person, so I wasn't like really that interested in dropping like $8 on a drink I probably
Yeah.
wouldn't like. But
They don't taste like it at all. I don't like milk at all. So if you give me anything that tastes like milk, I'm not gonna like it. Coconut milk, almond milk, I don't care. I do not want to drink something that tastes like milk.
yeah.
Coffee is an exception. That's the only exception.
Yeah.
Um, but it tastes more like a smoothie
Hmm.
than anything. So they're good. They
Yeah.
taste like have you ever had cereal milk ice cream?
Yes.
It tastes kind of like that. The blue
Ooh.
one specifically tastes a lot like that, and the green one tastes more like you bit down on a bride's bouquet. But in a really good way. It still tastes a little bit like cereal milk, but more like floral milk. I don't know.
Right.
It's so
Okay.
good. It's so good.
Yeah. After my time at Starbucks, alternative milks really just don't do it for me.
Yeah, I feel.
Yeah. Anyway.
Um, okay, so favorite place to hang out in the park?
I already told you, but it's I'm tied between World Showcase and Dino Land USA.
Yes, I feel like those are both really good choices.
Pandora
My
is also up there for me.
Yeah, Pandora at night specifically for me, and my other one, I mean, obviously Galaxy's Edge for me. I could spend all day in Galaxy's Edge, to be honest.
Yeah.
I
I
also
mean, I
really
like the
like,
TTC.
yeah, I feel like I have a new appreciation for it since starting this podcast.
Yeah. I'm wearing my tram
Um,
shirt.
I love that. I love your tram shirt so much.
It makes me so happy.
Did you just hear my throat?
No.
Oh, my throat just gurgled. This is how you'll know it's live
Yeah.
because we're not editing that out. Woo! um, so yeah, those are favorite places in the park.
Hmm.
What's your favorite non-park place in Orlando?
Well, now I want to say the TTC. Um, Probably okay. I'm tied. I really did like Springs, but I only went to it twice, and I wish I'd gone more. Um, so Trader Joe's is my answer. I went there a
um,
lot.
my favorite non-park place is the Coca-Cola store at Disney Springs. I don't know why. Honestly, pop in and meet the Coca-Cola bear. He's terrifying, but I love it. I love it. I don't know why. I'm just a huge fan of the
Amazing.
Coca-Cola store. Yeah. um, I don't even know. Disney Springs might count as a park place, but you don't have to pay to get in, so I'm not counting it.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um, okay.
Wait,
So
okay, question. Favorite like Disney building, but that was like I'm basically like Disney University or casting, which do you like better?
casting. Do you see the doorknob? Duh, casting.
I loved casting, and my heart wants to say casting, but also my traditions room was the Ratatouille room.
That's
So
foreshadowing.
I know. So I kind of really want to say DU, and I loved the like cast store in there. But yeah,
Oh yeah, that's so true.
love DU.
I I just love Disney properties so much.
Same.
Um,
Okay, sorry.
okay. No, you're good. That was a good question. So, favorite character interaction.
Easy. It's an easy answer. So I was in Dino Land. It was the day after my traditions. I had like 3 days off before I actually started training for some reason. So I literally just got to go to the parks. And so we went to Animal Kingdom and we were just walking through, and my roommate was a character performer, and she wanted to meet a bunch of characters, and we saw that Dino Chippendale had no line, and I will die on the hill that they are the best version of Chippendale. They're literally so much fun, and we have so many fun videos of them making the day really special for all of us, but specifically her. And they signed her backpack, and we have like Dale putting like doing like a supermodel pose. It was really fun. That was a really good interaction.
I love that. I love Dino Chippendale.
They're so
So cute.
cute.
I love it. My favorite character interaction was I went to so there's like the circus Fab Five, but minus Mickey. I don't know why he's not in there. Um, but Circus Minnie, I've had two interactions with her, and they both are my favorite interactions. The first one, I made ears for my friend, and she was wearing them, and she pointed to the ears and was like, "I love your ears," and my friend was like, "Oh, Kendall made them," and so then Minnie was. I don't know how I got all of this out of our game of charades we were playing, but um, she said, I love those ears. We're going to have a girls' night sleepover, and you're going to have to make me some decorations for my ears, and it'll be great. And she made me pinky promise. And so then I came back like a week later, and I had made Circus Minnie ears, and I was wearing them, and I showed her them, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love them." And it was like,
Oh my
so,
gosh.
I love her. I love Circus Minnie. She's a queen.
Okay, wait, side note. Do you know the story behind Dino Chip and Dale?
I don't.
Okay, so they have a story. Like Dino Land has a story. And I
Oh my gosh.
kind of learned it that day because I got to experience some of it because they were on their way out. So we like walked them back to their door. But so Dino Chip and Dale, apparently like the Dino Rama or whatever is put on by Donald, and he doesn't like Chip and Dale. And so they're not invited. And so Chip and Dale dress up as dinosaurs and pretend to be dinosaurs so that they can sneak around the party and meet guests. Is apparently what the story is. And so anytime Donald sees them, he goes after them. And he gets very upset that they're at the Dinorama. And so I have videos of cats of Blueberries having to hold Donald back while the chipmunks walked by.
That's so cute.
It's just such a fun little story that like you don't really know, but it's there and it's actively happening.
Yeah, it's so funny. You can, if you don't understand anything about Disney, ask a cast member. There's a story behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Side note, because I want to tell a story. Do you have any good like coworker stories, like outside of work, maybe?
Yes. I shouldn't tell mine though, because um it's kind of a tea story. So I'm gonna
Mm,
skip mine, but I would like to hear yours.
I know that you know what it is already. Um, anyway, yeah. So just fun, quick little story. Hi, if you're listening, nameless person who I'm not going to name, but yeah. So my first day of training, the first day I went and did like the um, Magic Kingdom tour. I have another question about this after. Hold on, remind me.
Okay.
But the day of my Magic Kingdom like orientation, I got split off to go with the parking people, and there were a few other parking cones with me. And so I met two of my new coworkers that day that were not trainers, and we're at lunch, and one of them's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna propose to my girlfriend while I'm on my CP. Like these are my plans right now." And I remember he would kind of bring it up like here and there, and I was just kind of like, "That's so exciting! I'm so excited for you." And then we get to the point where we get let go, and he hasn't proposed to his girlfriend yet, obviously, because it's like 6 weeks, and how would anyone have known? And so we get like a text in our group chat, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna propose to my girlfriend tonight. It's like the night Disney closed. If any of you want to be there, please come." And it was just really cute because I got like it was kind of like what started my CP and what ended my CP, and I got to be there for it. It was like really magical and sweet and amazing. Um, anyway, so your I'm curious. So the day of your did you have to do like a Hollywood Studios orientation?
Yes.
Okay, when you got split up at the end of it, like, did anyone do anything special or fun to like come collect you? I guess it's a really like
Um,
awkwardly worded question, but
so I know we got split up, and I think that when our groups went back together, we just met up at so they have like the movie room where they like advertise things, and then they also sometimes play like movies about Walt Disney and stuff, like little short films, and we got to watch the sneak preview of Onward, and that's what we did for ours.
that's really cute.
It was we got to see like the first 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, and I had already really wanted to see the movie because Tom Holland, if you're hearing this, I'm not a super fangirl, and no, I do not have a celebrity crush on you at all. What? However, I'm free this Saturday. Just kidding. Am I? I don't know. Anyway, but I already really wanted to see it, and then I saw the trailer, and I was like, I might have cried while watching the trailer. I think I cried while watching the trailer.
That's so cute.
Oh, I love that movie so much. It makes me ugly cry every time. And I always am like, I'm gonna go watch Onward. And then I'm like, are we ready to ugly cry? No, we'll save that for another day.
Me with Onward and Coco.
Yes, and Soul. I've been doing that with Soul too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So for me, we rode Little Mermaid, not important. But no, so at the end of like our orientation, we like did the whole walk around, had to learn Magic Kingdom, whatever. And then we go down into this room in the tunnels, and basically we were just told we're gonna wait there, and then trainers from our location are gonna come collect us, basically. And so they come through, and there's trainers like, yeah, we're here to get the like, you know, character performers, like if you're custodial, raise your hand, and then like the custodial people raise their hand, and they're like, wrong answer, and everyone was like, we're all custodial. And then this one lady comes in, and she has like a whole scroll, and there's like sparkles, and it's so cute and magical, and she's like Fantasyland West or East or whatever one she was from, and it was so cute. And she collected all her like I think it was wherever Pooh Bear and the teacups were, because I think my friend knew her. But it was so cute. And then right after her, like that was like so magical and fun, and like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to my place. And then the parking people walk in. And it was like that scene. Did you watch the first Tinkerbell movie?
Yes.
So it's like that scene where she's like looking around at all the elements, and she sees all these like magical groups of fairies, and then the hammer glows, and she just like looks, and it's like, like it was kind of like that, because there was like all this magical in-park stuff, and then the parking people come in and they're like parking, and like obviously I was so excited, and I love everyone I worked with, and my job was like so much fun, but it was just such like an awkward thing to even be there in the first place because I wasn't working in the parks. But anyway, that's my story from that day.
That's funny. Okay. Next question. Favorite memory from the last day / last night.
Okay, so the proposal, but also on my way back from Magic Kingdom, I watched Happily Ever After with all the CPs on the hub grass. It was like beautiful and magical and amazing. But then we go get on the ferry to go back to the transportation center, and the guy who's driving it keeps like making an announcement. He's like, if you're a CP, please come to the top deck. If you're a CP, please come to the top deck. And so we go up to the top deck, and we're like, what's up? And he's like, oh no, just I'm not gonna, like nothing, but like when the like lights turn red on this thing, like you might want to have your camera going, I don't know. And we're just like, okay. So we get going, and there's like this whole group of CPs, and he gives this whole like really heartwarming speech about like goodbye to the CPs, and like you guys were like the magic here, and you made Disney World what it is, and we couldn't have done it without you, and I don't know what we're gonna do without you. Like it was the sweetest thing. There's a video of it somewhere, and he like posted in the group chat the next day and was like, hey, love you all. We cried so hard, and I have videos of us all like hugging, and we definitely all got COVID, but it's fine.
Yeah, I remember that. I was on the ferry that night, and I remember being really emotional during that.
I'm like really working not to cry.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I really remember that.
Yeah, he was so sweet. Shout out. I think his name was Andres. I don't know.
Yeah,
Shout out though. Love you. You made my whole CP.
Yeah. I love Disney Magic. It's
that
so
last day, like no one really knows about what happened that last day because like no one really talks about it, but Disney managed to make that whole last day that it was open about CPs. Like everything, like there was something around every corner catered to us. It was so specifically like in a place where it was our responsibility to make the magic, and it's always like one kind of uniform magic, right, for everyone. It's all one sort of specific type of magic. They managed to make this whole unique new magic that was so specific to us.
Yeah.
And it's something like we'll never experience again and that no one else will ever get to experience, and that's really special.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I remember getting chased down. I don't know if this is my last day or not, but it was one of the days after we found out we were getting termed.
Mm-hmm.
I got chased down by some fairy godmothers in training, and they made this like sashes out of like strips of stickers. I still have them. I still have them.
Oh my gosh.
They made me two lanyards. That's not the word. Sashes. They made me a Rapunzel and a Tinkerbell one. It was so nice. Sorry, my
Someone,
shoes just squeaked.
no, it's okay. Someone saw us and saw us crying and hands us this little slip of paper, and it was like, thanks for being the magic is what it had written on it, and she was like, pass that on. And so we like passed it on to another cast member, and I thought that was so cute. And also as we were walking out, a few girls were like, are you guys cast members? And we were like, yeah. And she's like, can I give you pixie dust? And we were like, yes. And she's just like some random like guest cast member, I don't know, but she just like sprinkled glitter on all of us on our way out, and she was like wearing little light up fairy wings.
Oh my gosh, I've seen her on TikTok.
Yeah,
I saw a video.
Yeah, she made, I think she was doing TikToks of it, but yeah, it was so sweet.
That, oh my gosh, I saw a TikTok of that and I was like, that's so nice. Oh,
Like
um,
everyone went out of their way that day to make
they really
our
did.
days wonderful.
They really did. I remember, so for my story of my favorite memory for the last night, I was scheduled to work, and I was really like, I really wanted to go in and do my last shift, and I was there and I was trying really hard to make it through the shift, but I was like crying a lot because I was like, it was a great place to work, and it was just like a really sad moment knowing that we had to leave. Um, and so I was crying a lot. And then one of our leaders was like, aren't you a CP? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, no, people are here to cover your shift. You need to leave. Go and enjoy the magic. You should be going and having fun. And
That's
so they
so
sent
cute.
me, it was really nice. So they sent me and a few other CPs to go have some magic, and it was really nice. And me and this one girl, we went and did some stuff in Hollywood Studios because they had that open for us at that point. And then when I was leaving, I was walking past the 50s diner, and there I saw a cast member pin trading, and I had a bunch of pins that I was hoping to trade. So I tried to get a bunch of them traded at that point. And these two kids came up to me, and they had like a sibling who was hiding behind their parent. And the kids were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm pin trading. And they were like, can we pin trade too? And the cast member was like, unfortunately, like I can't pin trade with you if you don't have any pins. And the kids didn't have any pins. So I took a few of the pins that I didn't like very much, and I gave them to the kids. And I was like, pin trade for a pin you really like. And I gave them one for their sibling that was hiding. And so I was like, that's the last magic I'm gonna make at Disney as an employee. And I like remember walking away from that, watching the kids really excited, and they were like trading for pins that they wanted. And I remember walking away from that like teary eyed, and I was like, that was my last magic I made. And it was very magical for me to get to do that. So yeah,
That's so cute.
very emotional about it.
I know.
um, but yeah, I'm really proud of how much we've kept it together during this
I
episode.
know. I'm so shocked I haven't broken. I'm trying so hard.
I know. You can hear that like I'm trying really hard because I'm sniffly. I don't know. That's always my telltale if I'm about to cry or if I have cried, is that I'm sniffling. Um,
Okay.
so last question, and this question is in honor of the people who really made making magic special. What is a moment you realized that you made some forever friends through your DCP?
Do we want to like alternate since we each have a few?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So my first one is, so all through high school, I had friends who tried so hard to surprise me on my birthday. But usually it's because I'd be like, yeah, I've never been on like surprised on my birthday, whatever. Like it's just, I'm always involved to some extent. And so no one ever managed to do it. And it was always just kind of like a random disappointing thing that I like, was like, this is just how it is. And so my roommates, obviously 21 days after my CP started, my birthday came up. And I remember my roommates were like, yeah, so like we're planning something for Wednesday, but we're not telling you what it is because it's a surprise. So like I knew that like something was happening, and I was like, okay, it's like surprising, but whatever. I knew we were getting dinner and probably going to Beaches and Cream. And so then on my actual birthday, which was on Tuesday, I went to dinner with my parents, with my roommate, and my family. And we all went to dinner and whatever. And then I drove my parents back, and then we went back to my apartment. And when I walked in, all of my friends were in there with like a cake, and they like actually managed to surprise me because I thought something was the next night. And I think that was just something that like it was a lot of care was like put into it, and it was really cute.
I love
And I
that.
really appreciated that. And I don't think they know that no one had ever surprised me before. I don't think that's something they know.
Oh,
I put it in my Instagram today though.
that's so sweet. I love that. um, so one of mine is I was sitting with all of my roommates. We all watched The Bachelor together, and we sat and watched the finale of Peter's season of The Bachelor, which was a dumpster fire. Anyway, so it finished, and we all sat there for hours after it. Like, I am not joking when I say that it had to be at least 2 hours. And we all were just like talking about the season, and we were like, that was so like garbage and this and that, and we went through it. And we stayed up so late that night, and we were just talking about the finale of The Bachelor and like random stuff. And I remember sitting there, and I remember where I was sitting. I was sitting like um on the floor next to the like armchair that we had. You know how there's like a couch and an armchair? I was sitting on the floor next to the armchair. And I remember sitting there and just like looking around the room at them and being like, they're my friends forever. And I know that. And it was really nice. Yeah.
See, the thing is with my roommates, I think that I didn't really know that they were like my I think the 1 minute.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I got a phone call. um anyway, we're not cutting that, so sorry. Yeah, so I don't think that I think the whole time I knew they were like my friends forever. Obviously I already knew Kate, so like but I don't think that like I knew till after the fact that they truly were, but there were some moments obviously. So another good one was that I'll do the dramatic one in the middle. So
That's what I was thinking.
I had a really, really traumatic like blowout with a friend from home while I was living in Disney. I'll tell the story someday. I told it on an episode that we never posted, but I'll maybe March 9th we can do an episode where I spill the tea. That's the anniversary. Anyway, so I had a really, really hard time with that. And just in their own little ways, each of my friends kind of showed their own like support in ways that I had never really experienced before with friends. Like I just haven't had like really solid friends in my life. I have like a few, but they're like childhood friends. So like the way we approach situations aren't exactly like adult. So I don't know, like Kate and Tara came with me and actually did all the interacting with her when I had to see her in person, so I didn't have to get in trouble on Disney property. And like Jack sat there and made me like take selfies of myself and like pretty much like reassured me that I was like, a like good person, didn't deserve this. And then Gabriella walked around our apartment with like a bubble wand and cleansed the bad energy.
I love that.
It makes me so happy. I can't post the video anywhere because she was in a towel, but it's such a good moment. But yeah, just like the ways my friends were like so supportive during that, when it like obviously I didn't know them for like a month, like it didn't need to be their business, but they were very, very caring and supportive. Side note, Tara also was always brutally honest about the people I had in my life, and I really appreciated that. I'm not going to go into details about what, but she knows what, and you know what, but the audience doesn't know what.
The way that people listening are gonna want to know now.
I don't need to tell you, but if you DM me, I'll let you know.
There we go. Okay, so another one of mine is very, very similar, but also not at all. I had a relatively hard day at work one day. I did not have very many hard days at work. There's one guest that I had in my whole time working there that really like freaked me out. And there were two guests that really freaked me out actually. But so I had this one that was just like a really negative situation, and it was towards the end of my shift. So I left my shift in not the most magical mood. I'm not going to say I was in a bad mood because I don't think I was, but I was in a very neutral mood when usually I left work with a smile on my face. And then I was on the DCP buses on the way back to my apartment, and one of my friends from back home decided to text me something really, really rude. They were going through something themselves, and they decided that they wanted to take it out on me. And so they texted me something about a past trauma that I had, and they were very rude about it. And so I got home and I walked into my apartment, and I was like, I'm gonna go into my closet and cry right now. But I said it as a joke. And I was like, there's no way that they know that I'm actually about to do this. And then I went into my room and I closed the door and I went in my closet and sat underneath my costumes. They were like hanging over my face. And I started crying over it. And a couple of my roommates came in and sat down on the floor in the closet and let me, they didn't say anything. They just let me sit there and cry until I was calm enough. And then they were like, let's talk about it. And they sat there with me and let me kind of have a little hissy fit about my day. And they listened and just let me cry. And they would let me sit in silence when I needed to sit in silence. And that was really nice. It's hard to find people who know when you need to be talked to and when you need silence, and they knew. And so that was really nice. Yeah, it was really nice. Honestly, that's one of my favorite friend stories ever, let alone DCP friends. So
yeah, that reminded me of a different story. I was gonna say something about sticky notes, because we wrote each other notes all the time and left notes everywhere. Anyway, that reminded me, so I have a lot of boundaries that I'm not really aware of. I couldn't sit here and be like, well, I can now, obviously, because they pointed them out to me. But I never really knew how to articulate that I have a social timer and I can't be social for very long without having to retreat and walk away and just be alone. And I sometimes just want to go, I will walk away, and sometimes I seem like I hate people when I don't. And it's just kind of the way I am, I guess. You could attribute some of it to the ADHD. You could attribute some of it to being depressed. I don't know. But basically, I think that I realized around the same time of the situation with my friend, they all mentioned, because that was a big problem, was my boundaries that she didn't understand. And they all had already knew what my boundaries were. I never had to explain them to them. They never questioned anything. Sometimes I just walk away and no one came to bother me. No one asked if I was all right. They just let me go be alone because they knew that I couldn't be social after a certain time. And I think that was definitely a moment that I realized that they were my friends forever, because no one had ever understood me to that point.
Yeah. And it's so hard to find friends that can just read you. Mm-hmm. And so I know I understand that so much.
Yeah.
So dang, there's so many moments that are just you just are sitting there doing something really normal and you're I just really know that these are my people and I'm supposed to be here with them. And so I'm kind of having a hard time finding like a single other story.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll talk about our last day together. We all carved out time out of our day and we made sure that we could have like one last sit down meal, and a lot of us were working throughout the day, so we made sure it was like a time that worked for all of us. And so we ended up going to breakfast, and we got to take pictures with like the at the Crystal Palace. We went and had breakfast at the Crystal Palace with all the Winnie the Pooh characters, and my roommate helped me recreate a picture from my first trip to Disney when I was like 2 or 3 or something, and it was with Piglet, and so she recreated it with me, and she did it was me and my sister in the original picture, and so it was me and her in the Crystal Palace. It was really nice. I don't know. It was just like nice getting to have a last day, and the fact that all of the roommates were like, this is important enough, seeing us all together again one last time, so we'll carve that time out of our last day. So that was really, yeah.
Yeah, I think that I agree. It's like so hard to come up with stories because like every day was a reason that I knew, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love
And I had
that.
friends outside of my roommates too that I know are gonna be forever friends. Like I had one of my coworkers. She lives near me at home, and I had a project for school where I had to interview someone to then be made into a play.
Mhm.
And I interviewed her, and I actually think I ended up playing her character in the play that was written based on it, but it was like very different from the interview we had, but the character was still based off of her, and I think I ended up playing her. So that was kind of cool. uh, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I group Jack and Sean, I'll name drop. I grouped the boys into my roommates because they like basically were always with us. But yeah, I do have friends outside of my roommates. They just are my
Yeah,
roommates.
Ugh, I miss my
I
friends.
miss my friends. I want to see
Yeah,
them. I go to
yeah.
Disney.
uh, it's so crazy. I can't believe it's been a year.
I can't either. Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah. I was just thinking about this morning and last night about how I was feeling the night before I moved in. And it's so crazy to think that like I didn't know anything that was going to happen. Like I didn't know who I was going to meet. I didn't know if I was even going to have a good time in the program. I was like, I'm sure I'm going to have a good time, but I was like,
Yeah.
there's a chance that this is going to be nothing like I expected. And so I was terrified. And then little did I know I was going to meet some of the best people ever, and that it then was going to get canceled due to a worldwide pandemic.
I know. I remember I wrote it in my Instagram today. So if you follow me, shout out to you. But yeah, I remember going into it and being like, yeah, everyone meets their like lifelong friends, but like I don't make friends well, you know, I don't really, that's not my expectation. I'm like, I'm excited to work for Disney. Like, I think this is going to be a really good experience living away from my family. And at the very bare minimum, I have Kate. Like, at least I know someone. And then yeah, it was just really special getting to meet so many like important people in my life. Like all my, you know, best friends I met, like you. Didn't meet you on the program, but in the circle of it.
Yeah, that's so crazy because also like without the program we wouldn't have this podcast, and we
Right.
wouldn't have let not only our guests connections but also like our connection as friends as well,
Yeah,
which is
that's wild.
crazy. Yeah.
That's wild. And as sucky as it was to have our program canceled after 6 weeks, I really am sending love to the late spring and the fall Advantage people who like really got hit, like never got to do their program but had to do all the work to get in. Like I'm so sorry that happened to you. Uh, so sorry it happened to us.
Yeah.
That was rough, you know, making a cross country move. for 6 weeks. Yeah.
It's crazy. I heard someone say this once. I think it was Emily in Wonderland, the one from the UK. She did the international program. I think she's the one who said this, but she said that the worst thing about the DCP is going and making all of these friends and then knowing that you're not going to get to see them very often after you're done. And like, that is so true.
Yeah, it's really hard having like people who you're so close with live so far away. Like, I know we're in a pandemic, so like I wouldn't really see them anyway. Proof by the fact that I live 20 minutes away from one of my roommates. But like, I just, it's really hard like wrapping your head around that. And I think that a lot of people don't really experience that, which is rough.
Yeah, it is. It's really rough.
It's so worth it because I love my friends, but I would never ever like sit here and be like, yeah, you should have friends from far, far away where you're never going to see them.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Yeah. It's like a long distance relationship, except for like literally your best friends. Like,
yeah.
At least usually in a long distance relationship, you still have like your best friends with you.
Yeah. It's rough. Anyway, I feel like on that note,
on a really sad, depressing end note, because it's a sad, depressing situation. Thanks for listening. You might be able to find this on YouTube if I'm not the laziest person in the world. We're not editing it, so this whole entire thing is literally just our brains doing their thing.
Yes.
If you want to follow me, my Instagram is @EmmaBlunk.
My Instagram is @KendallHughes. There might be an underscore and there's no E in my last name. So.
And she's tagged in our podcast Instagram, which is @PorkKeys and Princesses on Instagram.
Oh my.
Oh my. So yeah, you can find us tagged in either of those places as well. Yeah, thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed our weird little memory lane. And what's our next episode?
Is our next episode going to be Harry Potter trivia, or is it our WandaVision video?
No, I think WandaVision. We're waiting to the end for Wanda.
Okay, we do have a WandaVision episode coming out, though. I've actually been asked if we're going to have a WandaVision podcast episode.
Wait, really?
Yeah, by Emma from the food and beverage episode.
Love you. Hi, Emma.
Yes.
Full name you got there. I'm just gonna say it every time.
Yes, she said she was really excited for the WandaVision episode.
Yeah, so tea on our WandaVision episode. We tried to make an episode. It made no sense, much like the show. So we're gonna.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we watched the first 2 episodes, which if you've seen the first 2 episodes, you know that it's super confusing. So we tried to do a podcast after reacting to the first 2 episodes, and we were like, okay, we'll keep this and we're gonna revisit it after we've seen the whole season and see what we got right and what was super off.
Yeah, we talked about theories and stuff, so we'll revisit that at the end of the season. But next up is Harry Potter trivia. We're going to be making butterbeer and taking a quiz. Maybe we will have a special celebrity guest, undecided yet, but I think we know who it is.
Celebrity guest. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, is it Daniel Radcliffe? And we're gonna be like,
Tom Felton. No. It's a podcast celebrity, except for her podcast never went out. Unless it's the other person we're thinking of, in which case her podcast did go out.
Yes, we have a few different options. We haven't even talked to the options about being options.
I mentioned it to one of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll get back to you on that. We're filming that soon.
Yes, I'm super excited.
This is such a long podcast. No one's gonna watch this whole thing. If you watch to here, go comment on my first Disney picture in front of the casting building a frog emoji, and I will literally Venmo you $1.
Oh my gosh. Watch this one go viral.
Yeah, okay, you have a week from the posting of this podcast for that deal to last. I am currently jobless.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny.
But yeah.
I cannot even Venmo $1, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So,
I'm really banking on it being like maybe one person, but probably none.
yeah. If you watch to the end, this is a timeless offer. If you watch to the end, go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram and find me a job. So,
yeah, send podcast members a DM and we'll do a rate date hate for you.
I can't. Oh my gosh.
I forgot about those till right now.
Oh my gosh. I can't. We gotta end it here.
We gotta edit our videos.
Thank you for watching our unfiltered episode in honor of 1 year since our move-in date. It was very chaotic.
Yes.
So sorry about that. This has been Porgs, Porkies, and Princesses.
Oh my.
I hope y'all have a lot of Disney magic in your day, or Harry Potter magic, or whatever magic you're looking for in your day. I hope you have a ton of it.
Yes. So much.
So much.
Sending lots of love. Watch Happily Ever After and magic happens if you want to feel the sadness we feel today.
Yes.
All right. We're going to call it on that now. Bye.
Bye.